when I set up to the golf ball like this, once again, my opinion, swing plane is the most widely or commonly used term. Shaft plane may be the most technically correct. But the angle of the shaft of the golf club at address, when I'm setting up, getting ready to make my backswing, the angle of that shaft, I would like my hands, club shaft, and club head to start back and swing up that line as much as they possibly can until the club is about hip high or waist high. Then, in the vast majority of golfers, you're going to see the club start to come above or away from that line. If you can imagine that line extended up the shaft and through my body. And at the top of my backswing, we might have a shaft that's higher than that original swing plane. But if I'm in the proper posture and I rotate my body enough, that club has a chance to come back down on that line, about here, return in its entirety, hands, shaft, and club head, to that line once again, come into the ball on that line. And folks, what happens in that situation is the club is swinging directly toward the target, provided I'm aiming properly. Right? If you do 800,000 things correctly, that's one golf shot. It is very, very complicated, and the opportunity to foil your chances to hit a great shot are very great. You could choose a wrong golf club. You could aim poorly. You could set up in an incorrect posture. You could take the club away poorly. You could do any number of things. But when you posture yourself properly and you are able to take the club away on a good swing plane and keep the club on that swing plane and rotate your body properly, then it's very simple to take the club back, return it to the golf ball in a good position, and strike a golf ball solid. Once again, if we get down too low, too far away from the ball, and we can't turn our body, we start to make an arms only or arm and hand dominated backswing. And the golf club comes out very low, very flat, very much around your body. Tom's trying to keep me from breaking the window. Thank you, sir. When we get the club in this position, I'm sure you guys can tell there, my sternum is facing my left elbow. If I were a left-handed golfer, we'd just reverse that and say my sternum would be facing my right elbow. But when I get the club in this position, what I am most likely to do is turn my body this way, come down to the ball in this position. My shoulders are aiming far to the left. My hands are off to the side of my body, and I can no longer reach the bottom of the golf ball. When we're topping the golf ball, I mean, I would love to sit here and talk with you about how you hit it 355 yards in the air really straight. I can't even do that. The idea of good golf comes from being able to make repeated, relatively solid contact with a golf ball, move it closer to the target than where you started, and hit it reasonably straight. If you think about how big a fairway is, your tee shots should be the least of your concern as long as you're making reasonably solid contact. Some fairways, they're acres in area. When you get to your approach shots into the green, target gets smaller. The greens are still several thousand square feet big, but they're certainly much smaller than the fairway. And then when you're on the green and we're putting, well, that's when we have our smallest target, right? So the closer you get to the hole, the more accurate we need to be. Accuracy with any kind of golf ball on the ground, we have to be able to hit the bottom of the golf ball. And I'm going to take this club back where I'm in a nice tall posture. I'm going to be able to rotate my body enough to keep the club coming back on a nice plane. And then just from here, if I return my body to where I started, do you see how I can hit the bottom of that golf ball? those of you who can see me. If I take the club back this way and it comes into the ball this way, and my hands are still in line with my sternum, I can strike the bottom of that ball, no problem. If I take the club back with my arms, then decide to rotate my body, then I rotate my body again, and my arms come in to the side of my body. Do you see how, first of all, it doesn't look very comfortable, does it? Can you see how high up the golf club is right now? I'm inches away from even making contact. This is something I see every day that I work with. When the club comes into the ball in this manner, we've got all kinds of manipulations that we can make. Real common is to take our hands and do this. When I take my hands and do this, it actually makes the club a little bit longer. It extends the bottom of the arc. So I'll make some contact that way. Another fix is this, where we take our knees and we kind of collapse our body into the ball, and that lowers our body enough for us to make contact. If I start doing this and or this, and I'm exaggerating, I'm going to start hitting the ball here. Everybody knows what that is, right? Shanking. Absolutely. Oh, I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of it. But hitting a round object against another round object is pretty. It's going to be pretty devastating to your score. Never going to hit it straight, right? Going to lose a lot of balls. In most cases, it costs you 2 strokes.